Hello, today we're going to be talking about multiplying binomials. So the method that I like to use is calling it distributive property. Many of you might have heard about FOIL and some other methods like this. I call it distributive or double distributive property because in essence that's what it is. So first we're going to distribute, then we're going to check to combine like terms and make sure that we have everything in standard form. So standard form, remember, is from highest exponent to lowest or no exponent. So for the first example, we have x plus 2 times x plus 4. So since I have two parentheses being multiplied together, I need to make sure that every term gets multiplied to each other from each parentheses. Meaning, in my first parentheses, I have x and positive 2. Those are the first two terms in the first parentheses. And then in the second parentheses, I also have two terms, x and positive 4. So everybody in the first parentheses needs to get multiplied to everyone in the second parentheses. So I'm going to start with x, which is the first term in my first parentheses, and multiply him to x in the second parentheses. So x times x is x squared. Then I have to stick with x because he still needs to be multiplied to the other term. So now I multiply x times positive 4, which is a positive 4x. So if you want to make a little check mark or something, it's fine, because we already took care of x. He was multiplied to everyone in the other parentheses. So he's done. Now I have to worry about the positive 2. So positive 2 will now get multiplied to x to get positive 2x. And positive 2 also needs to be multiplied to positive 4 to make a positive 8. Notice once again, we took our second term and multiplied him to everyone in the other parentheses. So he is finished. So we took care of distributive property. Now we have to combine like terms. So if I take a look, x squared does not have any like terms, but 4x and 2x are alike. So I can just add or subtract them as normal. So in this case, we're going to add. So I'm going to have x squared still. 4 plus 2 is 6, so that's 6 x's, and bring down the positive 8 because he is not a like term with anyone else either. So if I take a look at number 2, once again, I'm going to identify the terms in the first and second parentheses. So in the first parentheses, I have x and negative 5. In the second parentheses, I have x and positive 3. So my first term is x. He's going to get multiplied to x to get x squared, and then x to positive 3 to get 3x. Now I work on my next term, which is negative 5. Negative 5 gets multiplied to x to get negative 5x, and negative 5 gets multiplied to 3 to make negative 15. Keep in mind that this stage is distributive property. You are multiplying. So a lot of students are going to make the mistake and say, oh, negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2, but that's not the case. You need to multiply first. Your second step is to combine like terms in which you will add or subtract, okay? So here, x squared stands alone. Then we have 3 minus 5x. So 3 minus 5x is negative 2x, and I still have minus 15. So now let's take a look at number 3. Same scenario. I have two terms in the first parentheses and two terms in the second parentheses. So x is going to get multiplied to x and then negative 5, so x squared minus 5x. Then I take my second term, which is a negative 6, multiply him to x, and then also to negative 5, which makes a positive 30. Then we need to combine like terms. X squared, negative 5 and negative 6 make negative 11x, and add 30. So we are in standard form. We have an x squared, then an x, and then our constant, which has no variable. And the same with the others. Let's take a look at number 4, the next level. Two terms in the first parentheses, two terms in the second parentheses. So now we're going to multiply using distributive property. Take your first term, multiply him to everybody in the second term. In the second parentheses, 2x times 3x is 6x squared. And then 2x times 5 is positive 10x. Now I have to take -1 and multiply him to everybody in the second parentheses to get -3x and -5. Once again, do not forget to combine like terms. Now I have a positive 10 minus 3x, so I'm going to get 6x squared plus 7x minus 5. Now take a look at something like number 5, x plus 3 squared. Well, we should know that any exponent of 2 represents a base that is being multiplied times itself twice. So when I have x plus 3 squared, that really means that x plus 3 is being multiplied times itself twice. Okay? So now I can apply the distributive property. I have 2 terms in the first parentheses, 2 terms in the second, and we're going to multiply the same way that we've multiplied in the last few examples. X times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 3 is a positive 9. We wind up combining like terms to get 6x plus 9, and we are in standard form. The last special example is one like this, where I have conjugates, where I have x plus 5 and then almost the same thing, but x minus 5. So let's see what happens. 2 terms in the first parentheses, 2 terms in the second parentheses, multiply each term in the first to each term in the last. So x times x is x squared. X times -5 is -5x. 5 times x is positive 5x, and then 5 times -5 is -25. Keep in mind, this can happen and actually will happen every single time you have the same 2 terms, but in each parentheses, but with one with a positive and one with a negative in the middle. What's -5x plus 5x? Not x. It's actually a 0 because -5 plus 5 cancels out. You're left with x squared minus 25. I hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.